Hello,
And we're
everyone.
live. Hey everyone. This is Kay and
Hey,
Renee,
hi,
and
y'all.
we're here for week's edition of I Ain't Getting on That Roof, where we talk about all things home claims and
hmm
business claims. And we are expecting our guest Charity to come on tonight. But if we don't have her, we're going to talk about just coverages in the home. And
Yes,
I'll let Renee take over.
I have one for you. Okay, so this is what you don't want to do, business owners. You want to make sure that anytime you get a policy, you want to make sure that you get the right type of policy for the type of business that you are in. So, what happened yesterday was I did a policy review for an owner. And as I'm reviewing her policy with her, I am noticing some things that she really probably don't need in the policy, but they put it in there anyway. And a lot of times the agent don't, they're not as smart as we are, so they really don't know a lot of the stuff that should be or should not be in. That's why we are here to educate the homeowners, the business owners on what they need to have and what to look for when they are getting a policy. So she needs a business policy. And from what I saw, it looked like it was an inland marine policy, which really does not have anything to do really with her as her business. She has a business of like a beauty supply store and a salon in there. And some of the items, for example, was like money orders. I'm like, I don't know why that was in there, but she didn't know either. So I told her she needed to revisit it with her agent and go through it again just to make sure that the information that she wants in her policy is in there and the other stuff that could be just thrown in there can be deleted out of her policy. What do you think, Kay, about that? Because you're an insurance agent as well, so you know a little bit about it as well.
Yeah, I mean, having an inland marine policy is not enough. Uh, that only covers uh, your material and products if they're being transported or if
hmm
they're being warehoused by a third party, but it does not cover your business. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, it does not cover your business. You need an actual business policy for that, and it does not cover it. It's only to cover your stuff if it's being transported.
Mm.
And inland marine means that in it's on
Inland. Inland.
on land, not on water.
Yep.
Now,
Hey,
people,
Charity.
Hi.
hi Cherry. People
Hi.
people who ship things over water, they have marine insurance, but that's because their stuff is being shipped on water.
Mm.
Inland marine is if your stuff is shipped on land. So, do we want to um, transfer over to having charity talk, and then we'll talk about our stuff later? Or
Sure, we can do that because Charity is on, so we are live again. So go ahead. Let's go with it.
hi,
Okay, I'm
charity.
not.
No, last time you were
Hi.
on, we had a little bit of technical difficulty. So, let's just go ahead and start all over and tell people who you are, what you do.
Okay, so I'm a cost estimator, and actually, I'm not any. My title is called project engineer, but I do cost estimation. So
hmm
I was helping to develop the estimates when we want to pursue a bid to win a project. But they actually moved me over to a different department. But yeah, that's what I was doing, and that's what I've been doing since I graduated. I graduated 2019, and for 4 years I was with another company doing estimating as well. And then when I moved to this company in January, I started off doing estimating. Now they have me doing project engineering test, which is dealing more with the owner and the architect after we win a project. Let's see.
Why don't you talk a little bit more about your past experience as the estimator?
Okay.
What could go? I guess. What are the basic things that people need to know about estimation? And what are the costs if they can't get a good estimate?
What was your second question?
What are the costs if you can't get a good estimate? I know that you do the estimates to estimate the cost of the materials that are needed for each project of building, putting together a building, correct?
Yes. So it's materials, labor, equipment, overhead and profits, every single thing that will have to be charged to the owner.
Okay.
Hi, Bahi.
Hey, bye.
Hey, y'all.
We're talking with Charity. She's going over what she does.
Okay. Love your background. Good earrings.
Thanks.
You got a new computer, so clear.
No.
Oh,
Same computer.
oh, you did something different. Okay.
Go ahead,
so
Charity. You can go ahead and
Yeah, go ahead.
finish up what you were saying about cost estimation.
I think that's pretty much it. But I'll just repeat it because how do you pronounce your name? Is it Abahi?
Yeah.
It is.
Mhm.
Okay. Abahi. Well, nice to meet you. I was telling them I've been doing cost estimation for the past 4.5 years. Since I graduated, I went to school for construction management. And then I started right into working for a construction management company at first. Now I'm working for a general contractor. But I still started off doing estimating when it's different when I was working with the project manager because they help the owner side like run the projects and they do the estimations to make sure that the owner knows how much the project is going to cost before they go and bid it out for contractors to bid on. But now I'm working on the other side with the contractor and trying to get them to win the projects. So it's a bit different. And last week or 2 weeks ago, I told them like the different parts that we have to, or the different, I guess, tests that make up estimation, which is first we have to quantify every single thing that's going into the project, all the materials and labor, equipment, everything has to be measured and quantified, and then a cost has to be applied to everything so we can see the overall cost or how much a building would cost to build. And then we try to, we have to reach out, well now since I'm on the contractor side, we have to reach out to subcontractors and try to get their lowest numbers from everybody so that when we actually put the overall bid together and submit it, we'll come in as the lowest bidder. And that's what the owner usually chooses because they want to pay the lowest price.
Makes sense.
So are you out in the field now? Is that what you did? You transitioned to the out in the field?
Yes. So my title is project engineer, which I've always been a project engineer, but I was helping the estimating team, but now I'm going to be helping the project management team. So it might be a little confusing because I said the last company I worked for was construction managers. They were construction managers. And then now I'm working with project managers, which they're a little bit different because the construction manager, they represent the owner's team. And they'll also be on site like the whole time of the whole process of the building, the construction process. But it's like, I don't know how to explain it. So the owner will have their representatives, and then we will be the representatives of our company, the general contractor and the subcontractors. And we just followed the whole process of the project all the way through, every step of the way, and kind of like babysitting the whole process. And that's what I'm moving towards now, going on site. And it's actually for one of the projects that I estimated and bid, and we won.
Oh, good.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So now I get to run it.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
girl power, girl. That's girl power.
Thank you. Yeah, I've only been in that role for like it's the same role, but it's different departments. I just been in this department for like 2 weeks, so I'm learning how to do everything, and I'm not on site
Mhm.
yet. But
Okay.
yeah. You guys have any other questions?
Um.
Well, are
So
Oh,
you
this
give us. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Kay.
I was gonna say this is on
like
camera,
peeking through? Yeah.
huh?
I was just gonna say, like, are you now? When we spoke to you about 2 or 3 weeks ago, are you still with the same company?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm with the same company. We just had a lot of changes in the company, so they switched me over to a different department.
Okay, so you're doing a different role from the last time we spoke to you, then, right?
Um, my title is technically the same, but yes, yeah.
Okay.
Where you were indoors, now you're outside. You're getting ready to go outside and do the field work. You like you said, you're going to babysit the project,
Yeah, babysit the subcontractor
so
and
you
make
get
sure
to
they
wear a
doing
hard
everything.
hat.
Yeah, if it's necessary, but most likely yes.
Yeah, because you never know. What y'all put up there, those big buildings and wide, and like I was asking you before about the buildings here in Virginia, because they are data centers that were built. And then I think there's another. We have like a large area territory in Leesburg as well as in Ashburn area where they have placed data centers all around. And one of the things that I remember going to a meeting and asking, how many more data centers are we going to get? And they said they was going to eventually stop, but it seems like they are expanding the ones that they have existing at this current level. So I wanted to know, do you have any input in some of the data centers that we have out here?
So not there, but that's funny that you mentioned the data centers because I forgot to mention another project when I was estimating that we won. There's two that I won, and then we're running both of them. And one of them is actually a data center. So the
Oh,
first one I was talking about, it's not a new construction. It's going to be a renovation for 6 hotel guest room buildings.
hmm.
Yeah, it's a really big project, but it's just renovations. And then the data center is also a renovations project, but it's kind of like a build out. So they're repurposing what they now have as a warehouse, and they're turning it into a data center.
Oh, okay. Where are they located? Going to be?
And that one's in Baltimore.
Oh,
Yeah, that one's in Baltimore. I don't think we've done any data centers in Virginia yet.
oh, okay.
So yeah, we're definitely looking to do more data center projects. I didn't know how big that was.
Okay. Yeah, we have a lot. We have some large ones in Ashburn area. So they're unique to the process. And I always say that if there's ever going to be a bad weather condition, we can always run into the data centers because there's a lot of them around.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Now, do you ever get called back from these places that you go and construct? Do you ever get called back whenever they have damage to repair or reconstruct?
So that would be on the like department that I'm in now. So yes, if like if something's not done right, that's why we have the babysitter to try to make sure we do it as perfectly as possible. But most likely, there's going to be some mistakes for us to come back and fix. So
Hmm.
it does
Okay.
happen.
I was just asking about damages in general, just like if there's a storm or something like that. Do they ever call you guys back to, or
Oh no.
do you get inquiries just for rebuilds?
I don't think so. We do what we're supposed to do as far as um, they have policies that we have to follow as far as weatherproofing in some cases.
Hmm.
So if we like, for example, for one project we were bidding is for a re-roofing at a garage structure. Um, so they had these like concrete slab roofs that had to come off of the stairwells in the garage, and one of the requirements were temporary roofs or temporary waterproofing, water protection. So as long as we do what we're supposed to do as far as like protecting from damage to like the outside world, the weather, then we shouldn't face any problems. But yeah, I think that could lead to litigation if we don't properly do everything we're supposed to do to prevent it.
Do you use recyclable material in the process? Have you ever used it, or are y'all just using man-made items and stuff?
That's a good question. So since we're just a general contractor, I don't actually know. Our subcontractors might like
Okay.
source those materials for like they may be more affordable to them. So
Okay.
they might. I'll know more about it when I'm on site and I can see what they do and ask questions.
Okay.
Yeah. And right now, one of the main things I've been learning is submittals, and that's when the subcontractors have to submit whatever we have these documents called specifications, and every single material has a specification, and all materials that they provide have to meet those specifications. So some of them are required to provide samples, and that's what I'm working with now, receiving samples and other submittals, like documents that they're supposed to submit, product data, stuff like that. So I'm learning how to do that whole process.
That's good. Well, that's all the questions I have that I could think of.
Those were good questions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
I guess my question is, how could we as public adjusters, like, I don't know if you've come up to, that's why I asked that question earlier is, if you ever come across businesses that have damage and like you can't help them rebuild until they get money, and if they have issues with their insurance getting paid, how long you have to hold off your projects until your customers get paid.
Charity, you are
I'm
in the
not
dark.
sure. Oh, sorry. Parking. Okay. I don't know you said there's damage, but their insurance can't cover it.
Yeah, because I don't know if your uncle mentioned what we do is, like, we help homeowners and businesses recover money that is owed to them in their insurance claims, and but a lot of the homeowners and businesses, if they can't get their claim approved and paid for, they would need our assistance. So I'm just wondering if you ever come across those type of cases.
I'm not sure because we usually just do like new work. We don't deal with
The
vandalism
rebuild.
or anything like that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we just did. They will post out projects for like a new build or what's the other word? Renovations. But it's more like large scale projects, not like minor repairs or anything like that.
Okay.
So if there's a major fire in one of the buildings, and you said you do large buildings, do
Yeah.
you come back in there? Say like you worked on that building and something happened where some kind of devastation happened in that building that y'all worked on. Do y'all come back in there and fix it, or they assign someone else to do it, another company to handle it?
Yeah, most likely they'll have to rebid. Like they'll have to put out a bid for new
Mhm.
construction.
Okay.
Only time that it wouldn't be us because we're the general contractors, but the subcontractors may get called back in those cases if they have a warranty with them.
Okay.
So that's it.
Okay. That makes sense.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
you know, thank you for joining us with our podcast. You know, what you're doing, like, I know that there's people who do that. It's just like never on top of my mind that, you know, there's actually people doing that. So it's pretty interesting. And you
Mhm.
know, you being uh, female, there's not that many females in the construction field. You know,
That's a good question. Is
yeah.
there a lot of females in that field that you come
It's
across?
increasing. It's increasing more and more. But
Okay.
yeah, I've always heard that since like I was in college for it, that there wasn't a lot of people, a lot of women in the industry. But it's definitely increasing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do y'all have a lot with your company? A lot of females?
Yes, more than the last company I was with. Yeah, this one has more.
Okay.
That's cool.
Um, yeah.
That's
I
good to
don't know
know.
about what I so for the role that I'm moving into now. There's only one other female, but in the
Oh,
other
wow.
role, actually in the other role it's less.
Oh wow.
Yeah, in estimating, I was the only woman. I'm usually, in my last job too, I'm usually the only woman that does estimating for some reason. But yeah.
Well, we would like to thank you, Charity, for participating in this. And I'm looking forward to working with you because she is one of my trainees. She
Okay,
just
great.
started. She just started. Yep, thanks to her uncle. And matter of fact, you got my information today about the other the other girl that was interested. Remember, you sent me a text about.
Oh yes. She said she's interested, but I talked to her again, and I'm not sure like if she's ready to start now. But yeah, she's definitely interested.
Okay, all right, we'll be in touch.
Okay, you're welcome to stay. You're welcome to stay and join in our conversation. We're gonna move on to you know, having the proper coverages. I mean, this is definitely a learning moment too, for just homeowners and businesses in general. A lot of homeowners and businesses, once they purchase their policy, they just put their papers tucked away in a drawer and they never look at it until they
Mhm,
need it. And
mhm.
a lot of the business owners and homeowners we talk to when we do a policy review for them, they don't know what their coverages are.
Yeah.
And Renee mentioned earlier before you guys came on,
Mhm,
a business owner who really didn't have insurance. She only had the inland marine.
mhm.
It's like an endorsement. I don't even know how she was able to get that without having a policy. Um,
Yep. And Charity was in on it. She was in the meeting yesterday. And one of the things that came out of there as well was a homeowner that had a fire and did not have any insurance coverage, let alone the owner of the building didn't have any either. So unfortunately, that was a big loss. So that's what one of the reasons why we're doing this, to educate everyone, whether they are homeowners or business owners, that they need to know what they have in their policy and to make sure that they're not underinsured or even overinsured with stuff that they really probably don't need in their policy. So this is a benefit for everyone to utilize the services of a public adjuster.
yeah. What are some examples of overinsurance?
You don't really want me to go there. Go ahead, Ibai.
An example of overinsurance is if an agent sells you a policy for $5 million, or $800,000 home, and you have a $200,000 house.
Wow.
Overinsured.
Mm. And I got a question. Do Charity, on this one, do you think the insurance company gonna pay on that one real well?
If they overpay for what it's worth,
Mhm.
I don't know. They should if they overpay.
Yeah, they really overpaid. Well, I had a situation with one of my clients in Baltimore where she was overinsured. She had $1 million policy, but her house was only worth 200 and some odd dollars. So that's an example of someone being overcharged for a property.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She didn't complain about the premiums, or was it
She
like
really didn't care because something was going on with that policy and her and the agent. I just don't know. I didn't get involved in it, but something was happening with that policy, and it was kind of it was fishy. That's how I can say it was fishy. The information that was on there, what she had, and she probably didn't have what was stated in that policy.
Huh.
even
Yeah,
if
it was something going because I was talking to one of the VPs and they were saying like, don't even touch it, don't even go down that road because that's not our concern to get that involved. But it is something. It was something going on with that.
now, even if they were overinsured, paying for $1 million policy, and her house is just 200,000, is it still possible for her to be undercovered? Like not having the right endorsements for,
Mm-hmm.
let's say, code and government code upgrades, or not having the water backup. Is that
Well,
still
she had
possible?
that. She had a lot of stuff in there, and it just wasn't worth the amount that was being covered because the house wasn't worth that much. And then the fact that she wasn't disclosing enough information to me so that I could help her out. So it's like she was hiding stuff, and you could tell when someone's hiding information. So I didn't even want to go in there and pursue it because it just wasn't worth to get, an issue with a client over her policy.
Did she show you her policy at least?
Yes.
Okay. What made you think she was withholding information?
Because the question that I was asking her, and she kept going around the mulberry bush. She wouldn't give me a direct answer. So I'm like, I don't know how to help you if you're not going to help me, to help you get educated on what you have and what you need and what it was just, it was I think it was water damage. In the area where she was located was in one of the roughest territories in Baltimore. So that was another clue for me. And I'm like, something ain't right with this picture. I just knew it. And when you get this feeling, you're like, I'm going to stick with my feeling. And that's why I called. I think I talked to John or Paul, and they were saying, don't even touch it. Something's not right. So I went by that. And I'm like, nope, I'm going to leave it alone.
Yeah, that was a good idea.
Yep. Yeah, well, I mean, we're going to get into some of those situations where if you're not sure, don't do it. Because you don't want a lawsuit against you for something that you're trying to help a homeowner with. And then you get in trouble for it. So I just left it alone.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to get off topic, but yeah, as public adjusters, we have to protect our licenses.
Yep.
Whether it's the coverages. I know that I talked to Glenn about this one claim where the homeowner had already gotten paid for a claim 10 years ago, and he never repaired the roof. It was the roof that was damaged. And then he put in another claim a couple years after, and he got paid for that. And I think this was the third time where he put in another claim a few years after, never repaired the roof, and he's wanting to get paid for the same roof that he never repaired. That is illegal.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot do that. You got paid for the repairs. You need to make the repairs. If you don't make the repairs, you can't put in another claim on the same area without repairing it first. You just can't get paid again.
But explain to them, if you did get the roof fixed and something happened to it, then there's the scenario.
You can put in another claim, but
Right.
you can't just not repair it and
Right.
then put in a claim again. Because the public adjuster who didn't do a thorough inspection, didn't ask the right questions, you could go to jail. Yeah. So you need to be careful about that as a public adjuster too. You are representing the homeowner, but just remember that homeowners can lie also.
Yeah.
Yes, they can. I think Latrell had one that was like three. It was either 4 or 5 claims put on for the same damages. It was an interior claim. That may be somebody you guys might want to get for next time. Latrell Curry.
Latrell?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait a minute, she had 6 claims on the same property?
The homeowner wanted to put in 4 or 5 claims. It was a refrigerator that he wanted to put in. I think it was 3 or 4 claims he put in for that refrigerator.
Oh,
So how did she finally figure out this homeowner is trying to put in the same items for the
Either he told her or the insurance company said something, but I think she was still able to get him some additional money for things that were not previously damaged. So
okay.
yeah, she may be somebody we may want to talk to.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. What other things have you guys come across where the homeowner just does not have the right coverage? They're under covered, I guess.
There's been a lot. I know Ibai's come across a lot, and in my time with being a public adjuster, there's been so many different clients with various situations. Um, it's been a lot, I can say. Experiencing some of the challenges to inform the homeowners that we're here to help you, not hurt you. We're not here to get your money. We're just here to educate you on what you have in your policy. And a lot of times they're very fearful because they think they think that we control the insurance industry. I'm like, no, we don't. But just trying to help you. Just want you to know what I know from my experience as well, because I'm a homeowner, but also just to let them know that we are here to support you, not the insurance company. So that's a big concern with a lot of homeowners.
Yeah, I think when we had our meeting this Saturday, Ibahi, Glenn brought up, the subject of jewelry. I don't think most homeowners know that. You're only covered up to $1,500 for jewelry. If you are a collector or you just have a lot of jewelry in the house and it's more than $1,500, you need to get an extra endorsement to cover that jewelry, or else the most you're going to get is $1,500.
Mm-hmm.
Most homeowners don't know that.
Nope.
I'm sure there's other things in the house that you may have. You want to make sure there's no restrictions on the things you have in the house. I think I mentioned I had a homeowner who had like this vintage antique organ up in their attic, and I think they said it was worth $15,000 or $20,000. I don't know if there's a limit to I don't even know what that would classify as, just regular personal property. So I don't think there's a limit to that, right, Ibahi?
For
an organ?
Musical instruments do have a limit on certain policies.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. It was a vintage organ. It was like they had a whole pipe system up in the attic, and they had a tree fall on their house. And I was really surprised that it didn't crush the pipe system in the attic. It did crush the roof, and they had to have their whole roof.
Wait, was it a pipe system or was it an organ?
Well, the organ itself, it was in like their living room downstairs, but like it was connected to a whole pipe system up in their attic. Yeah.
Okay.
It was huge. I have pictures. I went up there in the attic, and you really couldn't get around because it was so big. But it was just a huge pipe system, and then it had like a system as big as like maybe 2 by 3 feet that was connecting the pipes to the organ downstairs. It was huge. I don't remember what they said it. They think the value of that whole system was worth. But I'm just wondering if you need to purchase additional insurance for that type of thing. or just like maybe collectibles you would have, uh, if they're worth more than, let's say you have like vintage baseball cards. I don't know if they would be worth more, if there are any baseball cards that are worth more than just, you know, $20. If you have to pay additional, uh, pay for an additional endorsement just to ensure that in case you have a fire in the house and that gets all burnt up, um, you know, can you prove its value um, without getting it appraised?
That's a good question. But I know that once they get, there were a couple of people who had like the baseball signage by someone, and they had it under schedule personal property, and they had it. I think it was $1 million. They had someone had albums that they have never opened up that was worth $1 million, and they had a room just with just old albums that they never opened. It was brand new. So that right there, he had it covered for $1 million.
So
I've
he did
I've seen
purchase
some
additional
policies.
insurance.
Huh?
So what you're saying is that he did purchase additional insurance to make
Yes.
sure that, okay,
Yes.
yeah. A lot of people, they don't know that they have to.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Because I've seen people like fur coats, diamond rings, all of it under this one section, and I'm like, you're only going to get about $1,500, and then I'm like, she said, no, my coat is worth this amount. I said, well, did you put it under scheduled personal property? Because then you need to show some proof that it's worth that amount of money. And she said, I didn't know that. I said, yeah. Yes, you do.
Yep, gotta tell them.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I know that like when I moved from my condo in California, I still paid the monthly premium, but I never told the insurance company that I'm no longer living in the house. I'm having my tenant live in there. And so I never changed it to a renter's policy.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, good, thank God nothing happened. But if something were to happen, my renter would not have been covered.
Right.
Well, your renter wouldn't have been covered either way because the policy doesn't cover them.
Yeah. But I never knew to let the insurance company know my renter needs to get their own insurance for their personal property. I still had stuff in the house like my couch. I had, like, I pretty much just moved, but I had my personal property still in there. But then my renter took over my room. She took over the other room, but like it's my personal stuff in there still. But like Renee, like Bahi said, her stuff wouldn't have been covered, and I didn't know back then to have told her you need to get your own renter's insurance. Renters don't know that.
You're right.
Don't know that they need to get their own insurance if they're renting, or else their stuff is not covered.
Well, I had a client in Philadelphia was a couple years ago, and I think John had gotten into this one where the owner he did the same thing that you did. He was renting out the house to his family, and he moved a couple of miles, or I say about an hour away, and his brother or nephew was smoking and caught the house on fire. And when he started talking to the insurance representative, he kind of told on himself, and he said, no, I don't live here. And when he said that, they said, you are not covered. And he couldn't even get the money to rebuild that property because he didn't have any insurance to cover him for that loss.
Was he still paying for a homeowner's policy?
Yeah, he was paying, but he had the wrong type of policy because he no longer lived there. It wasn't a homeowner's policy, it was a renter's policy that I think his mom and his brother or nephew was living there, and it was a big mess. And John says, "Damn," he's like, "Hey," he said, "we could have got him, but," he said, he blew it when he opened his mouth up.
Yeah, he did.
Yep, he told on himself.
Yep.
So people, we want to let them know, don't talk to the insurance company about something you don't know. Stuff. just
Awesome.
serious. You
Yeah,
can
and
lose your home.
Oh man, we're already at 40 minutes, guys.
Oh wow.
yeah, Ibahi. Now you had that one guy who was renting out his house. I mean, not renting out his house. He had it as an Airbnb. It was not his fault, but the agent had purchased the wrong policy for him. How did you get around that to get him paid?
Well, we didn't get around it. We had to sue for it because it was the agent's error and omissions.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, so even your agent can make that mistake. I mean, I don't know how the conversation went to begin with,
Right.
or if he announced his intent to the agent, and the agent just still purchased the wrong policy for him. But I think he had a regular homeowner's insurance when he should have had a renter's policy. Is that correct? Or what type
Yeah,
of
he should
insurance
have had a
Mm.
dwelling policy. That's what they call it, dwelling.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we do try to keep these short, but it goes by fast when you're having fun. Next week, I'm going to go live through my channel and we'll look at my pay stubs for 2022. And we'll go
Okay.
through each and every one that I have. We'll see if anybody will do like some guessing to see if people can figure out which one is the lowest, the highest, and we'll keep the interaction pretty high because of it. So I sent over the link already. I will
Yes.
send over the graphics so that we can start to post it.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
All right.
well, thank you everyone for joining us as we talk about coverages today, and we'll just see you guys next week.
Same
All right.
time, same station.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
All right. Bye.